Breaking news, Igor Tudor has been sacked by Juventus. The comunicado oficial, as they say in Spanish, the communication has been given about 20 odd minutes ago, very recently. This morning, Tudor was informed that he's no longer wanted by Juventus. He is no longer the first team coach. And I'm going to dive into my thoughts about this. Would I have sacked Tudor? Who do I want to replace him? Let's talk about all the options. If you haven't already, boys, subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 10k. Like the video if you enjoyed, share it to some friends. And without further ado, let's address this situation. So Juventus have appointed Massimo Brambilla as their new interim manager ahead of upcoming fixtures. Now, for those that don't know, this guy is the manager of the under-23 team, the next-gen team, who are currently playing in Serie C. And Fabrizio has also said that Luciano Spalletti and Raffaele Palladino are among main options being considered by Juventus's Damien Comolli. Look, guys, in terms of Brambilla, obviously, I don't know how many games he's going to be in charge of. He might not even be in charge of one game. We might get a coach in straight away. But I feel like right now, Juventus really need to make the correct decision. So this might take time. Brambilla might take charge of one game, two games. We don't know. We got Udinese and Cremonese coming up. Big games. They have to be wins. We know this. So there's going to be pressure on him as well. Who's going to take over the next-gen team? I don't know. If I'm being completely honest, I'm focusing on the first team right now. In terms of future appointments, who's going to take over after him? Because we know Brambilla will not become the first team coach guaranteed. That's impossible. We're looking at Spalletti and Palladino. I think these are the two main names. I want to address a couple other names that I've seen circulating in the sphere of Juventus's Twitter, let's say. I've seen Roberto Mancini and I've seen Zinedine Zidane. First of all, Roberto Mancini, I don't want at Juventus because he's an Interista 100%, like 100% Interista, and I don't like Interistas, you understand? He's spoken badly about Juventus on countless occasions. So for me, Roberto Mancini, I wouldn't even consider. I don't want Mancini as the Juventus coach. Next up, Zinedine Zidane, I would love. I love Zidane. Legend, icon of the club. Great manager as well. Three-peated with Madrid. But guys, that's very unlikely. Almost impossible. 0% chance. For me, Zidane is destined to take over the French national team after Deschamps is eventually going to walk, regardless of the result in the 2026 World Cup. For me, that's his next logical step. And Zidane coming in right now, for me, is a bit illogical. I look at the situation, I think it would be asinine to bring Zidane in. It wouldn't make any sense because Zidane is a coach that has only worked with top-level world-class players in every realm of the football pitch. To come into a delicate period of Juventus' history right now where there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of confusion, I just don't think confusion in the sense that who's going to come in, what are we going to do this season? Are we going to aim for top four? Are we going to aim for the Scudetto? I just think Zidane isn't the right man for that because I think that if he wasn't to succeed, his legacy would be harmed. And I think Zidane is almost like the coach after the stepping stone, if that makes sense. Like Allegri was the coach after Conte. I think Zidane needs to come in after the team is rebuilt and then potentially bring it to higher heights. I just think Zidane right now, it just wouldn't hurt. It would hurt his legacy, and it's impossible. It's not logical. I think Spalletti and Palladino are the two most likely candidates. Obviously, both jobless. Both, I think, would accept this role in the sense that they're both Italian. They're known for their work in the Serie A. They are Serie A, or typical traditional Serie A managers. So I think both of these are strong possibilities. I do. In terms of who would I rather have, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because Spalletti, for me, he's more proven at the bigger clubs. He's coached Inter. Granted, he wasn't very successful. Roma and Napoli. And he won the Scudetto with Napoli in 2023. And look, I applaud him for that. It was an incredible managerial achievement. One of the best I think I've seen in Serie A history since at least I started watching the sport. But Spalletti, for me, his patch at Italy really dampens his legacy big time. Because I think him as the Italian coach was a complete disaster. I do. I think he should have walked after the Euros. It was so embarrassing. It was one of the most embarrassing title-retaining performances I've seen from a national team, full stop. It was absolutely embarrassing. He had no idea what his system was. He had no idea who he was playing every game. He would constantly change the team, constantly change the personnel, something that we've seen from Tudor this season, not really knowing what his best team is. So for me, Spalletti is a manager that's quite undecided, indecisive, let's say. And would he be the right man for the job? We'll talk about it. Palladino, on the other hand, I think is a little bit of a better option. And I say this because I know Palladino isn't as proven at the top level as Spalletti. But let's look at it from a logical point of view. Palladino is ex-Juventus, played for Juventus, just like Tudor, meaning he's going to be attached to the shirt, fight for that badge. The fans already like him. And I think he knows the ambience of a club like Juventus better than Spalletti, of course. And I think there's going to be that sort of relationship already going into the managerial role, which is going to help him, like it helped Tudor, because the fans will always be on Tudor's side. I'm going to get to Tudor at the end of the video. But I think Palladino is a logical option in that sense. We also know that Palladino is proven in terms of tough times. Tricky, let's be honest, it's a tricky period right now. We need to guarantee results. The upcoming fixtures are crucial. So we need a manager with the know-how, with the cojones, to sort of come in, do his job, take his role seriously, get results. And Palladino has done that for Monza. We know that. He's proven in that regard. And I look at Palladino as well, and I think probably the most attractive, let's say, reason to sign Palladino as the next coach is simply down to the fact that he's going to accept a short-term deal. 1,000,000%. We know Palladino and Juventus already have a good relationship. This is almost a dream job for him. This is a dream role. He will come in on a short-term deal as the interim coach almost until next summer. I reckon Juventus will probably frame a contract like this. We will sign you on a 9-month deal, or however many months it is until June, July, whatever, right? Where you will become the Juventus first team coach. Like a one-year deal pretty much. If you guarantee X results, we will then have a discussion to sign you on an extension, a 1 year, a 2 year, a 3 year, whatever it may be. And Palladino would accept that. Because is Palladino the long-term coach of Juventus? Is he the long-term option? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But in my opinion, right now in the manager market, I don't really see a long-term option for Juventus. I almost see them as stepping stones, right? But I think Palladino would 100% be down for that. Spalletti, on the other hand, or Mancino, whoever you want to throw at me, they will be like, no, I want a 2, 3, 4 year deal in terms of financial security, in terms of giving them time to build up a team. And that might possibly work. I don't know. I can't predict the future. But I just think right now it makes more sense to almost have a coach who's competent, like Palladino, on a short-term deal to sort of reevaluate and reassess in the summer if it goes right, if it goes wrong, whatever it may be. Regardless of the result, we will reassess. With Spalletti, I don't think that's logical. I don't think that will happen. Because as I said, Spalletti will want a long-term deal. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing for him. I think that's completely understandable. For financial security, for stability in terms of creating a team, building something sustainable, I get that. But right now for Juventus, I'm looking at a situation I think next summer is going to be massive. It's going to be massive. So I'm looking at the thing and I'm thinking, well, is Palladino the long-term coach? Potentially, potentially not. But it doesn't matter because if we got him on a 1 year deal, we can reassess regardless, 9 months down the line. So I think Palladino is probably my number one option in terms of who I'd want to replace Spalletti. And I think the most important thing for me is someone who's a Juventino. Like me, like you watching, or maybe your friends. I don't know who you support watching, actually. But still, what I'm saying is we need someone that's going to die for the badge. We need someone that's going to wear their heart on their sleeve, like Igor Tudor. And this is what I want to talk about now, because I've spoken about potential replacements. I've spoken about who could come in, but I want to talk about Igor because I feel for him. I do, because I like Igor Tudor a lot. He's a Juventino. He's a Bianconero. He's a Gobbo. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He says it as it is. He puts the club before him. He's not egotistical. He's not stubborn. He's like everything you want as a Juventus guy, whether that be a coach, a player, a sporting director, anyone around the club. You know, you want someone like Igor Tudor there. And I feel for him because he has that Juventus DNA inside of him. You know, as an ex-player who won, who fought for the badge, who was there in dark times as well. He knows what it meant to be at Juventus. And I think he did his job really, really well. I think he did his job really, really well. And I got a couple stats here that I want to read out. I want to read out his resume at Juventus so far, his statistics. Well, so far, I mean, he's gone now. But in 24 matches, he won 10, he drew 8, and he lost 6. Okay, they're not world-class numbers, I understand. But at the same time, Tudor wasn't the guy that we'd expect to win us the Scudetto, or win us the Champions League, or win us the Club World Cup. We all knew that. He was experienced, but he hadn't been at top-level clubs. This was sort of a job that had so much pressure around it, so much history around it. It was a tough role for him to come into. But what I respect about him is the fact that he took this job on the chin, and he did his job well. Do you understand what I'm saying? He accomplished what he needed to accomplish at Juventus. The guy drove about 2 days in a car to sign for Juventus. That's love. The guy got us top 4 on the last match day in a delicate period again last season, post Thiago Motta. Were we even guaranteed top 4? No, we weren't. He got us top 4. Do you understand? He was a vital part in that. He had a good run in the Club World Cup as well. Let me not lie. Obviously, we lost to Madrid. But still, I mean, It's Madrid we lost to, not no Mickey Mouse team. We were good in the Club World Cup. We had a strong start to the season, man. It's just the last 8 games which dampened everything. And I understand the logic behind why Juventus got rid of him. I do. I can understand. It's a results game business, especially at a club like Juventus, bro. There's no time. No time to die. Shout out James Bond. Hated the ending of that film, by the way. It doesn't matter, though, because we're not talking about James Bond. We're talking about Juventus. Hated the ending of this, maybe. I don't know. Quite parallel. Maybe you hate the ending. Maybe you love it. I don't know. But I feel for Igor Tudor because I don't think he was solely to blame for everything that's gone, let's say, wrong in the last 8 games. I don't think he was the main reason. I don't think he was the overlying reason. Yes, he had his faults. Yes, he constantly changed the system. Yes, you could argue the personnel he was playing was confusing. Yes, I get all of that, boys. I get all of that. But for me, Tudor was a guy that was respected by the fans, respected by the players, respected by the club, the board, respected by everyone. So for me, I will never, ever, ever say a bad word about Tudor. And I have never said a bad word about Tudor. Ever. Maybe I've criticised his substitutions at times, because to me, sometimes he made the wrong subs. Maybe I criticised his system, like all the fans did. But for me, as a person, as a manager, Tudor, for me, I liked. I liked him. He was a lovely guy, wonderful guy. I met him in America for the Club World Cup. The only Juventus manager I've actually ever met in person. He was so down to earth. He was so humble. He was a great guy. Took a picture with him. I asked him to sign my shirt. He said, no, I'm not signing your shirt. I'm joking. Of course I'm going to sign your shirt. And then he asked me how I was. This was the night before the Real Madrid game, by the way. This was like 10:30, 11. It was late at night. He was going for a little walk to, I don't know, with his assistant, maybe to discuss tactics. I don't know. But he still went out of his way to sign my shirt, have a small 1-minute conversation with me. Because he's a lovely guy. As I said, he's a fan like you and I. So for me, Tudor, I respected him a lot. I respect him a lot. Still present tense. And I understand why Juventus got rid of him, but at the same time, I do feel for him because I don't think he was the big issue. I don't think he was the sole issue. I think there was a culmination of different things. It's unfair to just put the blame on him. However, I support the club's decision, of course, because I'm a Juventus fan. The club always stays, regardless of players, managers, board members, whatever it may be. The club always stays. And I'm going to support whoever they bring in, whether that's Spalletti, whether that's Mancini, whether that's Palladino, whoever it is, I will support and I will back. Like every fan will. If I had to pick one, of course, my dream is Klopp, but Klopp isn't managing, so that's unrealistic. That would be like my ultimate dream as Juventus coach would be Jurgen Klopp. It'd be absolutely incredible. But I do think Palladino, out of the names available, I would go for, personally. But let me know in the comment section, boys. Would you have sacked Tudor? Who do you want to replace Igor Tudor? Like the video if you enjoyed, share it with some friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're so close to 10k subs, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.